Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It is Monday again, and I'm here again. It's Dr. Michelle. Hope you had a good weekend. I did. It was really good. It was busy, but really, really good. Good connections and fellowship, and just a really, really good weekend. So I hope yours was good too. It's really chilly this morning, so I'm sitting here with my heater because I am a little chilly this morning, but it doesn't take much for me. I get cold really easily. So I am very, very happy to see you again for It's Monday again. I appreciate you joining me. And we're just going to be a few minutes this morning. Again, I just like to give you some nuggets to think about during your week. And so we're going to talk about getting in your lane this morning, getting in your lane. And so, as you know, I am Dr. Michelle. I am a transformation strategist, and I assist professional women who feel stuck or unfulfilled in their life or current career to develop a life plan where they can rediscover, realign, and reset so that they can move from where they are to where they want to be with confidence. So I am very, very excited to work with women who are moving towards that next level and really wanting to have someone come alongside them and do the inner work, because it does take the inner work to be able to make those moves sometimes. We can't stay on the surface all the time. We've got to dig deep. And so that's what I want to talk about a little bit today is get in your lane. Get in your lane. So I know that sometimes we think we're moving along in the way that we should be, but we maybe fooled ourselves a little bit because it's the lane we want to be in and not necessarily the lane that we are purposed to be in. And so when I say get in your lane, when we think about driving on the road, we're very, very conscientious about being in our lane, so as not to cause an accident and to get to where we're going, right? There's a certain direction, a certain place that we're trying to get to. We may need to be in a certain lane so we can turn right or turn left. So the lane that you're in is really important, but it's also important in our lives so that we are moving forward purposefully. And I can relate this to you in a way that it happened to me personally. I many years ago began working on my degree, my graduate degree, and in the midst of that, I got pregnant with my son, and so I stepped away from my studies. And when I stepped away from my studies, I started working a retail job, and I absolutely loved it. It was fun, and I did okay, but it was something I enjoyed doing. And so I kind of put my studies on the back burner. Life just starts happening for us, right? It just starts happening, and we just start doing life. And when life started happening for me, good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Toya. Thank you for joining me this morning. When it starts happening for us, we lose our focus. We lose the lane that we're supposed to be in, and we start going in the wrong direction. And so, me being, kind of like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing now, so this is what I'm going to move forward with. So I'm going to, apply to be a retail manager and, move up in my career in retail, right? This is what I'm telling myself. Now, mind you, I was working on a graduate degree in social work, but I'm in this retail space. And so I, go through this application process, and I'm somebody that interviews pretty well. I think that I do well interviewing, I do well presenting who I am. But anyway, I was going through this process, and I go to this interview for this retail management position. It was the absolute worst interview I have ever had in my life. And I kid you not. I mean, you can still feel the passion about it, right? It was so bad. It was so bad. And I thought, what in the world just happened? And I walked away from that just so, I don't know even how I felt. I just was like really I felt like blindsided. Like I felt like I was just, I had come into this interview thinking that, I had it all together, and I was gonna really kill this interview and do great. And it was awful. And it was awful. And I realized I was not in my lane. I was not in my lane at all, but I had fooled myself to believe that I was in my lane because I did not want to finish what I had started. I I don't know why I didn't want to finish it. I think I just, as I said, kind of got to doing life, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just do this. And I gave up on my dream. I gave up on something that I knew that I loved, that I was called and purposed to do, but I kind of just gave up on it because life started to happen. And then I realized, thank the Lord, He helped me to see I was not at all in my lane. So, this is just a reminder, if you are in a space where you realize this may not be where I'm supposed to be, then you probably need to reevaluate that. And you need to ask God, is this the lane I'm supposed to be in? And some of us already really know. Like we really know we're not in our lane, but we're kind of just doing life and we're just settling. We're settling for being in that lane because it's easier, right? I don't have to think about this. I can just do this every day, and even if I'm miserable, it's what I'm doing, and hey, well, I'm just going to float through here and do what I'm doing. But are you happy? Are you happy? And if you are in this lane and you recognize it's good, but it's not your best, I say that a lot. Good is the enemy of best. And my retail thing was, it was good, but it was not God's best for me. It was not what I was purposed to do. And He had to slap me in the face with that awful, awful interview to recognize that I was not in my lane. So I had to really quickly get honest with myself. I had to reevaluate. I had to get back on the path that I was purposed to be on. I had to move out of my own way, stop trying to go the way I wanted it to go, and start walking in the purpose that God had for me. And so I hope that you are in your lane, and that if you're not, you are at a place where you're ready and willing to get honest with yourself so that you can get on the road of being all that God has called you to be, and being in purpose and being the best, not just doing what's good, but doing what is God's best for you. So we've got to get honest. And for me, I also had to move my fears aside because I think there was some fear that was keeping me in the wrong lane. Fears of what it would take for me to really finish what I had started. Fears of, how am I going to do this really? Because by that time I was a mom, right? And I had this other person, little person that I was responsible for. And so, how am I going to do this? And so I had to get the fears out of the way. I had to get the fears out of the way. And when I was able to get the fears out of the way, then I could get back in my lane, right? And it is so important to be in your lane. I'm saying, I'm serious, because when you are not in your lane, there are people that are missing out on what you have to offer. People that are missing out on what you have to offer because you're not positioned. They can't find you. You're not where you're supposed to be. And I know sometimes that, not sometimes, all the time, we have work that we have to do as we move and position ourselves where, and God positions us where He's designed for us to be. So there's work we have to do. And that is okay. That's important work, because then you're going to show up as your best self when you get in front of the people that you are designed to be in front of, the people that you are designed to connect with. So, first of all, I had to get honest with me, right? I had to realize I was not in my lane. I had to move the fear aside. And then I had to move forward with intention. I had to be very intentional, because remember, I said sometimes you've got to work out the things, right, that need to happen so that you can actually move forward in the lane you're supposed to be on. So, even before that, let me say this: make your plan, right? When you realize you're in the wrong lane, you've gotten honest with yourself, you've put the fear aside. Now you got to come up with the plan. How am I going to get back in my lane? You know, sometimes we're in a traffic jam, right? And you know you need to be all of the way over in the right lane, and you are in the left lane. How are you going to get over there? You may have to wave some people down. You may have to bogart your way a little bit sometimes to get into the next lane so that you can get all the way over to the right. But whatever it takes, you got to make that plan so that you can get in your lane. And then when you are in your lane, as I said, move forward with intention. Get off on the right exit. Get to where you're supposed to be. And so when I had that horrible interview, I realized now, looking back on it, that I had to first be very honest with me that I was not where I was supposed to be. I had to stop being afraid of going back and doing what I had already started to do, but fear derailed me because I had a little detour. And so fear derailed me, and I thought, well, I'll just settle for this. No. So I had to move the fear aside. Then I had to come up with a plan. Okay, now that I realized this is not the lane I'm supposed to be in, I'm supposed to be all the way over in that lane. What's my plan? How am I going to move forward? And then I did that with intentionality. And I went and finished what God had purposed already for me to finish. But I had to go back and finish what He had already allowed me to start. And so sometimes there's unfinished plans, there's unfinished business things we haven't taken care of, things that we want that we haven't um, actualized because of whatever the case might be. We've fooled ourselves, we've been too afraid to do it. But whatever the case is, I'm encouraging us today: get in our lane, get in our lane. Be purposeful, be honest about where you are supposed to be, get there and get to moving so that you are fulfilling all that you're supposed to be fulfilling. You're not just doing what's good, but you're doing what's best, not just for you, right? But for the people that you are designed to reach. Get in your lane. So I want to offer you, if you go to this website, www.drmichelefreegift.com, there is a PDF file there for you, 5 steps to move forward in your next level transformation. And really, it's about getting in your lane. And so I'm encouraging you to go there and to grab, it's an absolutely complimentary download. I'm encouraging you to go there, get the download and start moving forward in your lane, in your lane. And I'm also putting it here in the comments so that you can grab it from there as well. But I hope that you will grab that moving forward, 5 steps to move forward to your next level transformation, and that you'll get in your lane, right? And start doing not what's just good, but what's best, what God has designed for you, so that you are fully walking in the purpose that He's designed for you, reaching the milestones that He's called for you to reach, and the people that He's put in your path. So I hope that you will meditate on this week, that you have a great, great Monday, that you have a great, great week. Make sure that you grab the free gift, the free download, and make sure that you consider, am I in my lane? And I encourage you also, if you want to talk more, please send me a message. Go ahead and DM me. I'd love to have a conversation with you about how I can walk alongside you to help you to get in your lane. Been there, done that. So I understand, and I am happy to walk alongside you to help you as well. All right. So I hope that you have a great, great Monday, a great, great week, and meet me back here again next Monday for It's Monday Again. Dr. Michelle here signing off. Have a great, great day.